Peace, YouTube. This is Sean Young, also known as Supreme, with another episode of Adventures in Wholesaling. On this episode, I wanted to go into a little more detail about the steps of wholesaling. These aren't the official steps, but these are just 7 steps that I put together to help you guys kind of follow your path and understand what you're doing with the step-by-step process. So the first step, and I've got some notes here, so bear with me. So I just wanted to be sure I don't miss out on anything. So the first step is going to be finding motivated sellers. Step number 2 is going to be getting that house under contract. Step 3 is going to be marketing that contract or house to buyers. Step 4 is going to be assigning your contract to that buyer. Step 5 is going to be sending your documents to a closing attorney or title company. Step 6 is going to be closing the deal, collecting your assignment fee. And step 7 is going to be prepare yourself to do it again and again and again. All right, so what actually goes into these 7 steps? First off, I don't want to mislead you guys, and I don't want you to be misled by some of the videos that you see out there on YouTube or on the internet that say things like, hey, you can get into wholesaling or get into a real estate business and become a millionaire or make a ton of money with no money down and none of your own credit. Now, I'm here to tell you that is true to an extent. However, if you go into this with that being your main pull or your main attachment or your main driver to get into this business, you're going to be setting yourself up for failure, and it's going to be tough to continue to go when things aren't manifesting the way that you would want them to manifest with that type of a model. So let me kind of explain what I mean by that. You might have seen a commercial or been up late at night watching a real estate investing commercial, and someone comes on TV or across your radio and they say something like, hey, do you want to get started in real estate? Just 4 or 5 years ago, I was sleeping in a tent with my whole family and the dog, and while we were rigging up electricity through the building next door through our transition radio that we were using, we were able to listen to an infomercial, that said that you can make a ton of money in real estate. All you need to do is follow my course or follow our course and pay X amount of dollars. Usually it's something like $2,000-$3,000. So you have to ask yourself, you have to just kind of use a little bit of common sense here. What they're trying to really do is, they're not saying that every case is going to be the same, or that everybody who sleeps in tents can go from sleeping in a tent to a successful real estate business with no money or credit of their own. What they're trying to do is explain to you that the dire or the most extreme, so to speak, scenario that someone could face but still find success in real estate. But that is not going to be the typical scenario, so don't prepare yourself to say, I'm going to listen to an infomercial in the middle of the night, call it in the morning, they're going to send me everything without me paying anything, and life is going to be great and grand from that point on. It just doesn't work like that. So first off, be prepared to spend some money on marketing, because this is a business that is all about marketing. So go into the business being prepared to know that you're going to have to spend some money on marketing. All right, let me jump into these steps. Step number 1. It's going to be very frustrating for you if you're not prepared, to put money up to your business or put money into your business, and you go out and try to use a lot of free methods or free avenues to generate seller leads up front, because you're going to find that you're just going to run through a lot of leads. You're going to hear a lot of rejections. You're just going to spend a lot of time expounding a lot of energy without maybe getting the return on your energy investment that you would like to get. But don't be discouraged. Just understand that marketing is what this business is all about, and that you're going to have to market either with money or by using free means. So let me get going to the next step here. All right, so that's step 1 is finding motivated sellers, and you're going to have to market to do that. How do you do that? You can put out bandit signs in the neighborhood that says, I buy cash, I buy houses with all cash, fast closings, things like that. That can generate leads for you. You can go to leads lists online, such as like leadsource.com or just different lead lists that you could purchase where you can find motivated sellers and find people who are actually selling their houses. So again, I'm not going to jump into all the various methods of doing that. I just want you to understand the step, which is step one is finding motivated sellers. All right, step two. Once you're able to locate and negotiate a price with that motivated seller, you're going to want to try to get them under contract as quickly as possible. And when I say negotiate with them, negotiate with a price that fits your business model. You can't, just because a person is selling their house for $100,000, you can't pay $100,000 to fit a wholesaling business model. So just keep that in mind. So you lock the contract up as quickly as possible. You want to give yourself at least a 14-day inspection period, which will allow you to go in and make sure that the house doesn't have any tax liens on it, or it doesn't have any, in making sure that the title is all free and clear, making sure whose name is on the title, all those type of things. So it just gives you time to do a little bit of due diligence so that you're not caught in a bad predicament. So once you do get that title signed, you actually want to send that over to your title company or your closing attorney, who will actually do those searches for you and take care of that part of the business for you. So that's not something that you actually have to manually do necessarily. All right, step three. Market contract to your end buyers. All right, you want to look for people who are trying to look for. You're looking for investors, basically. You're looking for people who are cash buyers. You're looking for people who are looking to fix and flip, buy and hold, or whatever their exit strategy is for a property. Those are the type of people that you're looking for, and you're looking for people who are actively doing it now. And there's a number of ways that you can find cash buyers, but you will have to market for those cash buyers as well. So just want to give you one quick example, putting bandit signs out. Hey, I have a house for sale, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, must sell now. Those type of things will get your phone ringing and get buyers calling you to inquire about that property. So again, that's step three, marketing that contract. Step four is going to be assign that contract to your buyer. And by signing that contract, what I mean is once you sign that, once you find your seller, you're going to lock that house up with the contract. Let's call that an A to B contract, or a purchase and sell agreement. That gives you equitable rights, or equitable interest. I always have a problem saying that word for some reason, but it gives you equitable interest in that property, which will allow you to be able to market and sell that contract. So when you find your seller, the type of contract that you have them sign is basically, let's just call that our B2C contracts, because we're assigning our initial contract over to our end seller. So let's call that our B2C contract. So once we negotiate with the price and everything makes sense for us on both sides, we get that document signed, and we then send both documents over to our either closing attorney or our title company that we like to use. One thing I left out, when you do get that contract signed with your end buyer, you want to collect what's called an earnest money deposit and make that non-refundable, because what it does is it puts skin in the game for them, and it makes them have more of a vested interest to want to close this deal out versus back out at the end for whatever the reason may be. And if they do back out, at least you're not losing out completely for your efforts. So let's move on. Step five. Step five is after you get the signing. Let me back up just one second. And again, you guys got to forgive me out there. I'm not a professional salesman or trainer on wholesaling just yet, but I'm trying to get it there. So I'm trying to share as much free information as I can to help as many people achieve financial freedom as possible. So forgive me sometimes when I mess up. So let me back up to step four. When you are putting that contract or getting that contract with your seller, I said initially that you want to give at least a 14-day inspection period. So when you get your buyer in place, you want to give that buyer no longer than a 7-day period inspection period to close and do the same, because you want to get this closed out as quickly as possible. So I did want to add that in there. When you do set up your contract with your end buyer, the most that you kind of want to put on there is a seven-day period, because that lets you know that your buyer is serious and not just another wholesaler who's trying to lock up your contract, looking to do the same thing that you're doing and waste your time in the end. All right, let's move on to step 5. So after signing, you send your A to B and your contract, your A to B and your B to C contract over to your title company or your attorney, and you have them take care of the closing and everything from that point. And at that point, they'll do everything that they need to do on their end. They'll bring in the buyer, they'll bring in the seller, and everyone will be at the closing, will be invited to the closing to get things done. So that's step 6, which is all parties are brought to the closing table. The buyer gets what the seller gets what they asked for. The buyer gets what they asked for, which was the house, and you get what you wanted, which was your assignment fee, which would be, of course, the difference between what the buyer paid for the house and what the seller was asking for the house. And that's something that you of course would have set up and negotiated earlier on in the process. I didn't go into the details of negotiating your deals or how to structure your contracts and all that stuff, because I just wanted to give the basic steps of wholesaling. So step 7, prepare yourself to do it all again and again and again and again, because that's what this business is all about, is reduplicating things, having a good system in place that can be reduplicated so that you can turn this into a profitable business for you. All right, so with that being said, it's been great speaking with everybody again today. I want you to leave your comments below if you have any questions for me. Hit the subscribe button, and continue to be on the lookout for more videos like this, which can be helpful to helping you guys along your way in your real estate investing business. Peace.